Hello, everyone. This is Tony, the CEO and co-founder of Shop Black. Today, I'm joined by Quinton and Terran Lewis, the founders of Urban Eden, a holistic skincare company that produces handmade soap bars and other skincare and hair care products. How are y'all doing today?
Doing well in yourself?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Doing awesome. Like, y'all have a very interesting and inspiring story that I definitely wanted our readers and our listeners to know about. So I'm glad to sit down with you both and learn more about the business and you both as individuals and a husband and wife team. So just kind of wanted to get started by asking, like, how did you both meet each other? How did you meet?
That's funny. So we actually met at Georgia State back in, what was that?
2009. We were
2000.
freshmen.
Yeah, 2009 when we was freshmen. We was both in the same like freshman dorms. Actually, we met kind of a little bit before then, right?
No, we didn't meet at that point.
Oh, okay. But we met at the freshman dorm, yeah, Georgia State, 2009.
Okay, great. And was that around the time when, I guess, Urban Eden, the origin of the business, or did that come later? And what inspired the business?
Yeah, so that came later. Pretty much it came about a year after we were married. We got married when we were 22. At the time when we met, we were actually 17, getting ready to turn 18. So we're 10 days apart. Wow. We were born in the same year, in the same month too. So we're 10 days apart. So that's why when I say we're about to turn, like we actually turned the same age around the same
Literally.
time. Yeah, so we got married when we were 22. And then we started the business about a year later, and I actually started the business first. Quentin already had a business that he was doing. He was doing like a landscaping company, and that got sparked because we were interns at a farm. When we were sophomores in college, we became interns at a local urban farm here in Atlanta. And he got sparked into wanting to do the landscape company, and then I got more into plants and herbs and essential oils. And I wanted to join the farmers market community. And so I was looking for a skill to do, and I came across soap making. I was reading a book, a craft book, and it had a bunch of different crafts in there, but one of them was making soap. And the first soap that I ever made was a lavender soap. And so that was my first connection with the fact that you could put herbs and essential oils into the soap, because of course, growing up, I had used, the ones that we grew up on that you see at the store all the time. And so I had never made that connection that you could put herbs and essential oils in your soap and you take a shower with it every day. So that was pretty much where that spark came.
That's interesting. So you are clearly like a husband and wife team, and, being in a marriage is working itself. Having a business, is working itself. And it's always great when you find two people who can come together and make a business work, with two different personalities. What could you describe your individual personalities and how you combine them to make the business successful?
That's a good question right there. So so our personality. So me, I am more like, I'm business minded. I'm very passionate about business. I am very, would you call me? Am I introverted or extroverted?
Yeah, I think you become so much more extroverted since we've been together.
I think because I got to be a little bit, I'm kind of social, whatnot. So I think that translates to me being, and I'm like the rebel, the thinking outside the box, the push the limit, Russell Westbrook type of mindset. Just I'm just gonna lay it out on the line. So I think that translates to me being like the business minded of the partnership. And the one that's gonna the operations, the one that's going to keep us flowing and going as far as business and making sure the boring, some of the boring things, what I'm saying, I'm gonna knock those things out, the things the non-sexy things in business,
right,
that people don't really talk about or really want to do. Like those are the things that I'm gonna do. And I also enjoy marketing, and that's another thing, a part of me that I really like. And then your personality?
My personality is very down to earth. My name means earth, and I just love all things that are super earthy. And so that was pretty much, I just create the product. As we continue to go forth, I do a lot of the product development. So the whole product line, Urban Eden, are all things that I created. And then, like he said, he do all the dirty work, and he tells me what to do. Yeah. He pretty much tells me what to do, because I'm eased out more, because essentially when I started the business, it was like me making soap in the kitchen, and Quentin's mind has just he's more into business development. So he came on with the business. I think it hadn't been a full year. I think I hadn't been in business
Probably like a year. Probably like
about a year.
I've always been a part, but like I really like
came
I stopped
full-time.
doing my other business and I came on full time a year
Right.
later.
And that's when the business, we went through a lot of trying times, but we were able to, work together. And I think that's how we complement each other. Of course, we butt heads every day.
That's marriage, period.
Right.
Every day. But it's definitely an honor to be able to work with him, and of course us working together, but his mind is just so extraordinary.
No, that's amazing. That's a huge accomplishment. And speaking of, like, you just mentioned, like, you started working or making products in the kitchen. So now y'all are in a warehouse, about, is it 6,400 square feet?
Yeah, like it's 6,300 square feet, and then we got an additional part of a warehouse next door to us. It's another additional 2,000 square feet. So we got a total of like 8,300 square feet.
Wow. So
and we have a retail store.
Yeah.
What's that?
And we have a retail store.
And a retail store. So that's like amazing, like phenomenal growth in the short span that you've been in business. Like, I think the numbers that I read or listened to were, you started off in 2015. You made, was it 15,000 the next year in 2016?
2016 is when we started, and that's when we did that 15,000.
Okay. And last year you did how much?
2.6
million.
billion. Yeah.
So, and I know there's like a huge jump between, was it 2019 where it's like 260,000, and then the year after that was, you're already past the million mark by millions. What factors would you say contribute to that growth? That's like, for not, like I said, like hundreds of thousands to a couple million in a year.
I think what really contributes to that growth, the main number one thing is probably the introduction of the ads, the paid ads, really committing to a budget. And because we ran ads in the past, but we really, last year, we really was like, hey, we're going to start off with a budget and we're going to incrementally scale it up, as we go. So that, I think, of course, with the George Floyd killing, I think that really brought the awareness of supporting Black businesses, in that summer. So that had a whole that really added a lot of growth to it. And so I said the George, and then I think just coronavirus period. I think they said that forwarded e-commerce by 5 years, or gave e-commerce a boost of 5 years. So we were in the perfect place at the right time. And I think the product, the perfect product with the pandemic going on, like soap.
The message was to wash your hands, and we were selling soap.
Oh yeah, that's
even
true.
when he mentioned ads, we came out with a brand story as well earlier last year. And so around the time when all of this was going on, we already had this brand story kind of going around, running as an ad. So people were seeing that we were a Black-owned business, and they were also able to see our story.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So content, COVID, and and I guess
riot.
right. No, that's awesome. So when it comes to your product, what would you say differentiates you from, because there are a lot of soap brands out there, there are a lot of skincare brands, whatnot. What would you say differentiates you from everybody else?
I have an answer, but do you have an answer?
Go ahead with your answer right now.
All right. So I really believe that really what separates us probably is our story.
That was what I was saying.
I think the story, and I think the fact that we have two elements of us, of course, the fact that we're using herbs and essential oils, and we stick to that. That's our core, herbs and essential oils into our products, and using natural oils, and trying to get people to be more conscious, because we're very conscious. People are conscious about what they put in their body, like as far as food, but the outside. But then I think it's another aspect of us documenting our journey from the beginning. That inspiration fact of man, this is a Black couple. They look like me. They showed how they started in the garage, living with their parents. Now they done grown to this, and they've shown every step of the way of it. And you can go on YouTube and literally watch our first video all the way until now, and you could be like, wow, this is very doable. This is very achievable. So I want people to understand and know, you can do this. It ain't saying you gotta be the same business as us, but whatever you starting, whatever you're doing, I want you to be inspired. You know what I'm saying? That you know that you can do the same thing just like how we did.
Right.
So I think that's what really, I think that is a thing that differentiates us from a lot of the people out here.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense. And with success, or like with sudden success, or the huge, like I said, like a huge growth that you had, sometimes some businesses aren't able to manage that, like whether it's like, they don't have enough inventory, or basically they're just growing too fast. You were obviously able to manage that and like handle it effectively. What would you say were the challenges that came with such growth, and how are you able to manage them?
Man, I mean, it was very challenging. Don't get me wrong. Like last year was the hardest year ever. Like, yeah, I think people on the outside saw, oh, they're blowing up, they're growing, but trust me, internally, we were going through it because we started off in in 2019, we started off in 1,000 square foot building that we were producing in and had our store in. But as we were scaling through the pandemic, we had to move operations to the warehouse. So having to move the business at the same time, we were 10x in our company, was extremely hard. And also too, we weren't ready. We weren't prepared for all of this, to be honest with you. We didn't have a customer support team in place. We were still answering the emails. We got behind on orders 4 to 6, 2 months. So you can imagine like what that was looking like.
Yeah.
There were times when I was trying to slow down the orders by pushing out the fulfillment times, and people were still ordering.
Wow.
So it was very challenging, and it could have been bad, but I think what really benefited us was the fact that we were transparent like we always have been.
Yeah.
We were literally telling people, hey, this is how much we are growing. This is what's going on right now. Logistics is messed up with the pandemic. We're growing at this rate. We make everything in-house. I think that was a benefit, that we made everything in-house. That was a super benefit.
Right.
And with all of this going on, people understood. And they were like, you know what? I'm still gonna support. I'm gonna wait as long as it takes. And we were making real-time marketing videos, letting them know, like, yo, this is the reason why it's taking this long. We hand make these products. We're hiring people at the same time. We're training people, and this is just what it is. And people were so supportive, man. Like, man, the people, man, the people built this company, like for real.
That's great. So that transparency was key. Just letting people know, hey, I'm not hiding. We're not trying to, do anything.
Oh yeah.
Shady over here. This is what's happening.
Because you know how people sometimes, when like they might be behind, or they behind their fulfillment or whatever, they go quiet, or they don't even let you know. Or we were over communicating. People were getting mad because we were over communicating sometimes. Like, we were just trying to send an email like, yo, this is what's going on. We were giving them updates every time we had, like, if we improved by a week on fulfillment, we letting you know. If we went back a week on fulfillment, we letting you know about that. Like, good or bad, we letting you know.
Right. That's interesting. How do you and this just came to me, I was wondering, how do you choose the flavors, or the mixtures, or the ingredients, the formulas that you use? How do you pick? 'Cause I know you have like a bunch.
Yeah, so when I first started making the soaps, I was just looking at a picture that I took from when I literally first started making the soaps. And one soap that we've always had is like our activated charcoal soap. So when I first started making the soaps, I was looking at ingredients that were really popular. And I remember at the time, 2 ingredients that stuck out to me were activated charcoal and turmeric powder. And it's crazy because even 6 years later, those 2 soaps are still our most popular #1 best-selling soaps. But pretty much through research. So when I found that out about the activated charcoal and the turmeric powder, I was reading a magazine, an article online, and came across that. So I read a lot of online articles, reading just natural soap books, and learning more about ingredients, because it started with me making soaps and of course using the herbs and essential oils. But then I was getting more questions and people saying, I have eczema, I have acne, I have hyperpigmentation. So I had to actually go and address these various skin conditions that people had. I would go and look and see what herbs and what essential oils were actually able to help with these various skin conditions. And that was just how I kind of came up with the formulas and even the base oils. So pretty much like everything that we use within our products is all plant-based. We don't use any animal products whatsoever. And we just use the natural herbs so that they can kind of help maintain healthy skin. Because herbs and essential oils and carrier oils like olive oil, cocoa butter, shea butter, a lot of those have benefits that can help with the skin. They help with itchy skin, dry skin, and they help with those various skin conditions as well.
And would you say people are leaning more towards, oh, sorry, Quinn, you're gonna say
No,
something?
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what do you think that people are leaning towards more natural and organic now? They're willing to pay for that quality product as opposed to paying for like a cheaper product that, hey, it lathers and it smells good, but it may not even really be soap at the end of the day.
Right. And so yes, people are willing to pay more about that. And I think a big thing is also just the content that we create as far as like being informative, letting people know about how these different ingredients are able to help with their skin. But yeah, it's the go.
And that also contributed to the growth, was what you said about people just becoming more conscious about that type of things. And we actually kind of saw this probably a few years ago, even when we starting the brand. Like, people are becoming a little bit more conscious of that. And when we were pricing the product, we wanted to make it where we didn't want to price it where it was like, this is something that you were just going to buy one time or like as a gift or whatever. It's like, it's so pretty that you don't want to use it.
Like a specialty.
Right, a specialty. So we wanted it to be everyday use, part of your lifestyle. Like, something that you were going to use every day.
Yeah.
So even the pricing is very affordable. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you look at like a lot of brands, very big brands now, they'll start to market that they have plant-based body washes. So, we've been having plant-based, but now a lot of these bigger brands that everybody grew up on, now they're starting to market and say that they're using plant-based because the market is actually going towards that route. Like, the majority of the market wants natural plant-based ingredients.
I think a big thing there is trust also. Like with larger brands, they might say, oh, we've got like, I don't know, it's plant-based or it's all natural or it's organic, but that might just be like 1% of the ingredient and the rest is something you can't even pronounce. It's got like a 16-letter name to the chemical. Right. So I think, yeah, healthy, natural, organic is definitely the way to go. I think y'all are doing amazing work with what you're doing right now. I mean, what advice would you give to other business owners that are trying to reach where you are? They have like a business, they're trying to scale it, they're trying to be successful. What advice would you give them?
Honestly, like, stay true to who you are. Like, stay true to your principles. Like, we didn't try to do too much. Like, we stayed true to who we are. Like, we're very big on direct to consumer. Like, we knew that we couldn't really take on lots of different wholesale accounts and all those types of things. So we stayed true to direct to consumer. And we're in this age of time where social media is very prevalent. The building of your list is very important. Keeping all your customer data and all that type of stuff. So it's like, you can use the internet, leverage the internet and social media and things like that to build your brand and build it, slowly and methodically. And, you might think that nothing is happening, but trust me, over time, continue to create your content, document, like, all that stuff will have a compounding effect in the future.
I think just even going back to what you said earlier, when you said the people built the company, one of the biggest things that has helped us, because we have a good product. That's one thing. That's one, portion of it. We have a good product, but we have a community of people that love and that are loyal to our product, to our brand. So it continues to grow. They're spreading the word, letting other people know, and they truly believe in what we're doing because we're authentic and transparent and show them the things that we do. So I think that community has been such a driving force in our success, in our business success, because if the people don't buy the soap, then where does it go from there? So it's the fact that people actually love this soap and they share it with their friends, their family, strangers, whoever.
No, that's very true. And lastly, as a couple that's in business together, what advice do you have for couples that may want to start a business together or may already be in business together? What tips do you have for being able to manage and balance that dynamic?
Define your role.
I'm in that boat as well, so I'll take all the advice I can get.
Yeah, I think that's the big one, like you said, defining the roles. I think that's probably like the most like basic one I could like think about. But then I'm also thinking about the opposite of like, take time to take breaks, because we can get, me and Terran, we can get so much caught up into our business because it's a part of our life.
Yeah,
we can even go to dinner and we still talk about business, or like, but like, you gotta have the unplugging times. You gotta just like unplug, you gotta get away. You just got to. I don't care if it's just cut your phone off for the day, just watch movies all day, don't do nothing, or if that's, go out of town, like, but you gotta unplug and rest. Like, because if not, it's gonna wear on your marriage.
Yeah. And lean on each other for support, just always constantly work through things. I think us being in business and also just being married has allowed us to, it's taught us so many lessons. One of the greatest things that we've been learning along the way, because we're still learning it, of course, is, just communication and comprehension. I think communication and comprehension got to go hand in hand with each other, because you can communicate, but does that person comprehend, or are you understanding each other? So I definitely think that comprehension within each other, but like Quinton said, taking that time to take a break and take a rest, you can take a step back from the hustle and the bustle and always going and take that time to reset, to communicate, and to comprehend with each other.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So once again, y'all, thank you so much for joining. I know your story is going to inspire a whole lot of people. Everyone that's listening right now, tell them where they can find you, social, website, and all that. I'm going to drop that information in the details below, but still, where can the folks find you?
Oh, you can find us on, go to our, first and foremost, our website, Urban Eden. It's a play on words, herb, H-E-R-B, apostrophe N. Well, not on the website, but it's urban, H-E-R-B-N-E-D-E-N, Urban Eden. You can easily just Google Urban Eden, check out our YouTube, follow us on TikTok. We'll be on there clowning. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all the channels, you know what I'm saying? Just type in that name, Urban Eden, and you'll be able to find us in all the different places.
And if you're local to Douglasville, then you can check us out. 6410 Fairburn Road. You can come stop by the store and see all the products in person for yourself.
Awesome. So thanks again, you both. Have a great rest of the day and much success to you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
it was nice talking to you.
Take care.